is no sanctuary city. Sacramento is not a sanctuary city. The state of California is not a sanctuary state. There is no sanctuary anywhere.
Like it or not, Tom Homan is doing a pretty good job as the border czar, especially around the California corridor. Less and less immigrants are getting in every day. So because of that, ICE can focus their attention elsewhere, like inside of the United States. And of course, one of the biggest states for illegal immigrants is California. One of the reasons why is because it's so close to Mexico. A lot of immigrants come in from Central America into Mexico and into California. But of course, some people get in. And so what the border czar decided to do was that, hey, ICE was gonna pull up. And guess what city? Sacramento! Sacramento is the greatest city in the world because I'm from there. I went to Grant High School, went to Sacramento State, so I was so excited to see that we made the news for something other than the Sacramento Kings losing. Got him! But that exposure was short-lived when I saw this.
Take a look at this. As soon as we pulled up to a local Home Depot out here, suspected illegal immigrants started taking off running in all directions pretty much as soon as they saw those federal agents pull up. That immediately led to several foot pursuits with agents chasing these men down. Border Patrol tells us they ended up arresting 11 illegal aliens at this one Home Depot parking lot. Several of them had criminal histories and prior deportations.
So damn, ICE pulled up on Florin Road at the Home Depot and they found some illegal aliens there. Now, this is important to know. Home Depot is like the #1 hangout for a lot of migrants or Hispanics, if you will, especially if they're illegal. And the reason is because they can find daily work there. A lot of them are really specialized in building and contracting work. So they are almost always around these particular venues. So ICE was smart. It was like, under our inspection, we're gonna find them hanging out over at Home Depot trying to get a job. But they not gonna know that we gonna pull up on their ass real quick. And that's exactly what happened. They basically pulled up and started arresting dudes, and you know, they found out that some of these dudes have real bad crimes. They have re-entered the states illegally multiple times. But that wasn't the main thing.
They also chased down and arrested this U.S. citizen, the guy in the black hat, after agents say he slashed the tire on one of their vehicles. You'll see them pursue him. He goes to the ground, entangles with agents on the ground, then appears to lunge at one of those agents. Well, that ended up causing him to get maced in the face. Take a look at the aftermath of this. I snapped this photo as I came across the scene here. You see him with mace in his face. He was arrested for impeding federal agents, according to Border Patrol. His wife was there screaming that he's a U.S. citizen. Agents said, well, too bad. He slashed the tire on our car. He's coming with us today, and we do have photos of that slashed tire. Take a look at this. You can see the puncture mark or the slash there, and then the deflated tire. Border Patrol having to drive that vehicle off on its rims.
So the main thing was you had this guy who happened to be, honestly, in my opinion, Hispanic. And while the ICE raids were going on, it doesn't appear that he was hanging out with these guys, but he saw ICE coming out there and doing the chasing and things like this. He somehow decided to get involved, and what he started to do was he started popping the tires, around the vehicles with ICE. And so when they saw him, they got him and started beating his behind. So and tying him up and arresting him. And when you mess with ICE, that's a federal offense, bro. Like, you got to understand. So you see his wife, if you look at footage, other videos, his wife is yelling, "Oh my God, he's a U.S. citizen. He didn't do anything. What's going on? Please stop." And so then what happens after that is a lot of Hispanics started to run with the narrative that kind of made him seem like he was the ultimate victim.
They had arrested a citizen, a U.S. citizen, there at that Home Depot today in Sacramento. The way they treated them was really harsh and really horrible because they literally slammed him on the ground and multiple ICE officers got on top of him. And that's the guy that I was talking about that you guys saw in that video. He is a U.S. citizen, and you saw his face. There was blood all over his face. He got treated like there's no other way to put it. But if someone could confirm with me if he is a U.S. citizen, just to make sure, just so I won't spread false information.
So the guy says, if I have my story wrong, and you are wrong, this guy was not innocent. I don't know why you guys want to make it seem like he wasn't doing anything wrong. Clearly, he was doing a whole lot wrong, according to ICE. And now, guess what's going to happen? Hispanics in California want to do this.
Latinos need to be boycotting Home Depot. Don't give that company another single penny. Every single year, Home Depot makes billions of dollars, and Latinos play a huge role in helping make that happen. I mean, for years, if not decades, Latino customers and day laborers have relied on Home Depot for their construction, landscaping, and household needs. Its parking lots are well-known gathering points for those looking for work. Yet now, under this administration, we are seeing our hard-working Latino people be targeted, racially profiled, and kidnapped by ICE agents on Home Depot's premises. Raids have increased at Home Depot stores after the Trump administration directed immigration officials to target these locations to help meet daily arrest quotas. Despite all of this, and despite our essential role that we have played in Home Depot's billion-dollar success, the company has remained silent, neutral, and they have yet to make a clear public statement condemning the racial profiling, targeting, and kidnapping of our people at its stores.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f*** you think you is?
Now, again, what you see is a lot of unaccountability. I don't know if they borrowed this from like Black Lives Matter or something like that, or some things in the black struggle, but now they're blaming Home Depot. So now let's boycott Home Depot. I guess the same way that, they're asking blacks to boycott DEI. And the reason why we should boycott Home Depot is because they allowed illegal Hispanic migrants, some of them who had criminals, who have been in the country multiple times. We should deport them because ICE pulled up at Home Depot and Home Depot didn't do anything about it. And then you have this other guy, which I played before, basically saying this guy needs justice, when I'm pretty sure they have body cam footage of him popping tires, getting involved in something that doesn't make sense. Now, this lady, I'm not sure if she's from Mexico or Hispanics, but let's just say whatever her country of origin is, if you were to go to her country and be illegal, she would have no problem with you being deported, all right? Trust me, I'm in Uganda right now, and African countries can be a little bit more lax than some of these other countries with enforcing deportations, but it does happen. It happens a lot, all right? Not as much as you might see with Mexico or some of the Latin American countries, but you have to follow the laws. And it's crazy because Hispanics in Mexico, almost every Latin American city, they deport without question, like get out. Inhumane conditions, some of these countries. And nobody is saying anything when Mexico is sending people back to Central America or whatever the case. They're getting them out of there. If anywhere you're at and you're not supposed to be there, they're getting you out. Now, these people who are in Sacramento illegal or doing whatever the hell they feel like doing, it's all bad, but you don't even know some of the crimes, right? Some of these migrants that are illegal are doing some very heinous things. And even the guy who was leading the ICE raids expressed this.
If it's going after kidnappers and that makes me a tough guy, and rescuing children from forced labor and that type of thing, then I'm guilty as by God charged. Guilty as charged. If making Mom and Pa America a safer place, if that makes me a tough guy, guilty as charged.
Now the guy is saying, listen, if Governor Newsom wants to call me a tough guy, so be it. But guess what? If I can remove some of these people who are doing these things and other folks can sleep at night, I'll be that. Like, we've seen so many stories over the last year of migrants coming in, and this is not all but illegals, raping women, killing people, robbing people. And so when it happens, the migrant community of that particular origin of country stays silent. When you see Venezuelans doing whatever they're doing in Denver or Aurora or in Chicago and something happens and they hijack apartments, then are you saying let's boycott Venezuela as a country? No, what you're going to say You shouldn't judge everybody just based on one person. It's not right. It's not fair. But if we do that in your home country of origin, here's what happens. Shot to DEA, F. All right? Shot to death, okay? Or worse. You don't want to even make a mistake in Mexico. Or like, they don't play around. And so the reality is that now we're trying to go ahead on and play the unaccountability card with this group simply because they are your people. And I think that black people need to understand that this is what happens to other groups. Other groups will be unified with their people, even if it's the wrong thing. I've noticed this. A lot of blacks, like, we will kind of use our logic and say, okay, well, the brother's doing this wrong. All right, he shouldn't have did that. He should pay for that. All right. Or police brutality. Well, he did this. No. As you can see, a lot of other groups, especially Hispanics, they're in the wrong. They don't care about that. Here's what they'll do. They'll address that person privately or silently. But as you see, as a community, nah, you guys did this to our group. Well, they're here illegally. It doesn't matter. This is our group. We should boycott Home Depot right now because of what you did. But he's illegal. We don't care. And see, that sort of unity, whether it makes sense or not, it's what moves the needle for a lot of groups. A lot of people know that a partition of their group is doing the wrong thing, but they're never going to really call it out in the media in front of people. Some may do, but it's not as much as we do as the black community. They will come together to defend the people that shouldn't even be here. And it's not because that they like them, but what happens is they see if they're getting deported, the illegals, that it could trickle down to affect them. So they're planning ahead. So they're trying to say, listen, Home Depot, if you want to stay in business, you better not call the police on these people. Otherwise, a lot of the labor force and money you guys get, we're going to make sure that you guys don't get that money anymore. Now, will it work? I doubt it, right? Because, there's nothing to enforce this and the guys are in the wrong. It's clear as day. But this is how some groups are coming together and thinking about this. And we've seen this in many different communities, many different protected groups, and they defend their wrong so they can get more power in the system. And blacks have to understand this is the play. To defend everything, wrong, right, to get stronger. It doesn't matter. Even if these guys, they don't even want them near them, it doesn't matter. Because listen, they're looking at that person as if that person may be an uncle, a cousin, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a wife. So if it's them, they're going to fight for them no matter what, because, hey, they may have a legal immigrant that's a brother, that's a cousin, that's whatever. So they want them to stay in. So they figure supporting them helps the cause go further. And as ridiculous as it sounds as a strategy, sometimes it works. All right. And we've seen it work in many different ways. Like, look at LA, look at Karen Bass, look at Chicago, look at what he's doing. Look at Eric Adams. They're really friendly towards the migrants. It's because of people fighting for things that don't make sense like this. Clearly it's in the wrong, but listen, they threaten politicians. You want our vote next time? You want this? If not, we're not going to give it to you. You better be basically on immigrant side. That's why when Joe Biden got the presidency, the first thing he was asked, what are you going to do for immigrants? And he said, look, I'm going to make these people citizens immediately. I'm going to do. That's why, because that is what pays dollars and their vote and their money counts. And that's how you play politics. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Huda Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.